Hi guys, today is July 16, 2020, and futures are lower on a renewed worried about the virus. And despite the Moderna and AstraZeneca showing pretty good results from their trials and very promising according to Dr. Fauci, and retail sales were up 7.5% versus 5.2% last month, and also initial jobless claims were 1.3 million versus 1.25 million, so worse than expected number. So renewed fears about the virus and the possibility of vaccine to be available only next year, and the second wave of the virus sweeping the country, possibility of that sweeping the country in the fall and winter is worrying the investors again. So futures are lower, and we have the whole day in front of us. So let's see what happens. So let's jump to SPY, S&P 500 ETF. And this looks like it's going higher, actually. To me, it's breaking out, frankly. And to tell the truth, I mean, this looking good to me, technically. So SPY, as long as it stays above those support lines, and it's breaking out higher. Okay, so let's jump to corporate news and to stocks. So by the way, if you want to see what I'm trading on an everyday basis, you can check out a Patreon link in the description of this video. So let's start with Delta Airlines. So a couple of days ago, Delta Airlines reported a wider than expected loss. Revenue was slightly above, but Delta said it will take more than 2 years before airline industry sees a sustainable recovery from this pandemic. So in general, I told you before that if you take a long-term view on those airlines, some of these airlines will perform well, and Delta, one of those airlines that I would be investing, and some of the others are safe, and JetBlue and LUV. So those airlines are good airlines in my opinion, and have enough liquidity to sustain this pandemic and to recover at the end of the year or next year. Okay, so let's continue with banks. JP Morgan. Okay, JP Morgan reported pretty good numbers. Actually, reported 34 cents above estimates. Beat revenue was also above, and they said that they added to its loan loss revenues to protect against the defaults, and also cited the record trading revenue. So actually, JPM. And JP Morgan were higher on the news, but not significantly. And in general, banks are in penalty box, and I think that they will remain in the penalty box until we have a vaccine, a solid vaccine. Okay, so Ford. Okay, so Ford actually unveiled the 2021 Ford Bronco SUV in a series of videos marking Bronco's return to Ford lineup after 24 years absence. So actually, Ford is looking not bad, so shoes, and it looks to me that it may go higher, even though we'll have a not so good day today. But looks to me that the Ford stock may go actually higher. And Tesla, staying with the automotive theme, Tesla was actually raised to its price. Was raised by Piper Sandler its price target to the street high of $2,322. Wow, citing an underappreciated opportunity in software and market share gains. On a separate note, though, SIRI maintains sell on Tesla with a price target of $450. So take your pick. Who do you believe? But in general, I think Tesla is trading extremely high, in my opinion. And I'm a shareholder, but I would wait for Tesla to come down to establish a new position here. Okay, so Spotify. Spot was downgraded by UBS to sell from buy, citing valuation, and actually I see that it's not in a very good position technically, and I would leave the stock or buy puts on it actually, because I think Spotify may go lower. Okay, also NIO. NIO just as well, not a very good technical setup for NIO. It's still in overbought territory, coming out of the overbought territory, and I think shares of NIO will go lower as well. So, and in general, I like those stocks, Spotify and NIO, but I would wait for them to come down to establish a position or to add more stock. BPMC, Blueprint Medicines, and it's Switzerland. Russia will invest up to 1.7 billion in the U.S. drug maker, partnering on a treatment for certain types of cancer. So BPMC is an interesting company, drug maker from U.S. Like I said, and looks like the stock is going higher. So I think it's an interesting buy in my opinion. BPMC, HBI, Hanesbrands. So Hanesbrands is an apparel maker who was upgraded to outperform by Wells Fargo, and noting that basic apparel sales have been among the best performing categories since retail reopened. And looks like HBI is breaking out to me, and I think it will go higher. Stock symbol HBI. Speaking of Wells Fargo, WFC. Reported earnings recently, pretty bad earnings, and allocating over 10.1 billion, I think, for potential loan losses, and cutting its dividend for the current quarter to 10 cents from 50 cents. So not so good numbers from Wells Fargo, but it was trading very low, extremely low. So the stock came up a little bit in the last couple of days, and is trading around $25. I think I will just leave it alone because, like I said before about JP Morgan, that banks are in the penalty box. Even the good banks like Goldman Sachs reported spectacular earnings yesterday, and still is trading lower today, and then came up about 1.2%, even though it doubled the revenue projections on the strong trading revenue. And I think it's a very good bank and showed really good results, but still trading lower. So banks are in the penalty box, and I would not touch them. Okay, so let's continue with SIRI. Sirius Satellite Radio. Okay, so Sirius said that it will be allocating 2 billion to its share buyback program, and in general, Siri to me it looks like it's going higher, and I would buy Siri in these ranges, so like around $6 range. Okay, so Morgan Stanley also reported earnings, and Morgan Stanley is trading higher today, but it heavily beat the expectations. But just like Goldman Sachs, who reported pretty good earnings, I don't expect Morgan Stanley to go far, even though the setup is pretty good to me. But because of the vaccine still not available, the banks are in a penalty box pretty much. Just like I said before, J&J. Johnson & Johnson. That company reported very strong results, beating on top and bottom, also raised its full year outlook, and looks to me that J&J is going higher, and they're supposed to start clinical trials on the COVID vaccine in September. So I would be very optimistic about J&J in general. Twitter. Okay, so Twitter is investigating a security hack that targeted some of Twitter's highest profile users, such as Elon Musk, Barack Obama, and others. So shares of Twitter are trading lower today, but if it was not for this hack, technically Twitter's set up to go higher to me. I mean, it's just everything is perfect to me, and on this chart, this 50-day moving average crossing to 100-day moving average, MACD crossed, and looks like it's breaking out of this resistance line around $36. So we'll see what happens, but I'm optimistic about Twitter stock. Okay, so AA also reported numbers, reported actually pretty good numbers, said that they lost 2 cents versus 38 cents loss expected. Revenue was slightly above, Alcoa also said that it lowered production cost, increased output, and improved its balance sheet. So pretty good numbers from Alcoa, actually, unexpectedly so, and looks like the shares are going higher to me. Okay, LGHL. Lion Group Holdings. Lion Group Holdings is on a crazy run. Look at that. I mean, it closed yesterday at $3.42 and it's opening pre-market today at $9.21 or something. So insane. And what happened is that they announced the official launch of its total return swap service that will help international investors invest in the Chinese stock market. So that's pretty astounding news, and that actually, I mean, I understand so why the stock is trading so high, but I mean, I would not trade it at the open. I would not buy it at the open. I would let it come down a little bit, but in general, very good news from this company and very interesting buy in my opinion. Okay. And the last one I'll give you is Dollar Tree, stock symbol DLTR. It looks like Bank of America raised its rating on a discount retailer to buy from neutral based on improving sales outlook. And looks like to me that the shares of DLTR is going higher. And it's a pretty good buy in my opinion. Okay guys, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you Monday.